Detective, it looks as though I might be out here.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt. Aha. Oh. Aha. Oh. Oh. I cannot see the logic. Come, my little... I must act... Things are beginning to become clearer. Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius. Huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Huh. Aha.
You must be Detective Poirot. Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. Gideon Demir.
The fiancé to Mademoiselle Angeline. The pleasure is all mine.
Angeline spoke so highly of you. It sounds as though you are the man that can sort this terrible mess out.
I am, monsieur. You have my word.
Mostly friends of the family. A couple of business associates of mine. Quite a mix from all walks of life.
With regards to the blackmailing, can they be trusted, or should they be considered suspects?
Angeline is struggling to trust anyone right now, but Madame Vandenbosch, as it is her house, thought it was best for us to have them all present.
And they will all be staying in the house?
Yes, it is a rather full house. All 6 guests will be staying on this floor. The family resides on the 2nd floor.
I will be sure to speak with them all. However, I will keep my identity and purpose for being here hidden, at least until I have made my initial introductions.
I'm afraid that ship may have already sailed. Once the Comtesse gets wind of something, a detective coming to the house, for example, you can bet everyone will know. She tries her best to keep everyone else happy, but I can see it is taking its toll.
Quite understandable. She is feeling the burden of the family that is not hers to carry.
Angeline has spoken with her mother. She has asked if there is anything that could be used against her, but she was just so dismissive.
And what are your thoughts on the matter?
I do not want to overstep my position, but if there is something that could damage not only the Vandenbosch name, but our future, Angeline deserves to know.
That is a very diplomatic answer.
You have met Madame. You know it is best to not get on her wrong side. You are very observant, Detective. You would be wise to keep that perceptive nature while you're here.
I'm sure you are correct, but I'd like to return to your feelings towards the Major.
He has been a good friend to Madame Vandenbosch over the years, but that does not make him a good man, or suitable to involve himself in family affairs.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations. Mademoiselle Angeline, it is a pleasure to see you again.
Detective, how wonderful you are here. Your travel was not too arduous, I hope?
Watching from my carriage window, I saw the beautiful countryside and rolling hills. It was anything but taxing.
I'm truly thankful you could make it here at such late notice.
No thanks are required, mademoiselle. When one is requested personally, there is nothing more important.
Gideon and I only wanted a small dinner to celebrate our engagement, but Maman was adamant on throwing this party. It may have been her idea, but it's the staff that have made it happen. Their efforts do not go unnoticed, from me at least. They have been with us for so long. I do my best to make sure they are happy and content. Only Maman, Elizabeth, my beloved Gideon, and you, of course.
And what is your fiancé's opinion of the letters?
He thinks me foolish for paying the first one if there is no secret to reveal. But
you believe there may be a secret lurking, one that Maman is herself keeping hidden.
she tells me nothing. Even though I'm a grown woman on the verge of marriage, she still treats me like the child I once was.
Perhaps it is out of love that she protects you. It is in every mother's nature to protect their young from hurt.
Not a single person. I don't know anyone that would stoop so low.
The guests that will be joining us tonight, they are ones you can trust?
I hope so, Detective. Before the letters arrived, I would not have thought twice about it.
They are all close friends of yours, I assume.
Friends and colleagues. Gideon has spoken positively about them. It would be a rather underhanded tactic to do such a thing to someone you are doing business with. Oh, Detective, I'm afraid I just don't know.
She was quite adamant at the police station that she would not be returning to the house, but I assumed she would at least collect her belongings.
Maman demanded that Elizabeth pack up everything she had and dispose of it. But I couldn't let that happen. Elizabeth and I took her belongings, what little there was of them, to a friend of hers in the town that Elizabeth knew of. But not even she had heard from her. I wanted to contact her, but I had no address or telephone number.
Surely Madame must have had some information when she employed her.
You saw how Maman was. As soon as Fleurette was out of sight of the house, it was as though she had never been there at all. Elizabeth was most upset at the news Fleurette would not be returning.
And your mama's choice to ignore her accountability for the girl stopped you searching.
Please, Detective, you cannot make me feel any worse than I already do. If I could go back and live that day again, you must believe me, I would never have done it. Yes, Maman has quite a collection, although they are not all to my taste. Most, in fact.
The painting of the saints, in particular, it is quite exquisite. Is it connected to the house in some way?
The one in the hall? If you look above your bedroom door, you will see one of their names. I believe they were originally carved to watch over the occupant.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
I must take a different... Magnifique. What a revelation! The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Detective.
I shall take up no more. Oh. Oh.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the... This will not get me any closer to my goal. Order and method. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Come, my little grace. Another success.
Oh. Huh.
Detective. It looks as though I'm a guest. I shouldn't have to go around chasing them.
Perhaps the party preparation is more of a priority.
It's not my fault they aren't ready. Why don't I wait here while you check in the butler's pantry in the east corridor? I think I saw a maid go in there earlier.
I shall take up no more of your time. Ah, Mademoiselle Elisabeth. What a pleasure to see you again.
Detective Poirot, I'm so glad you could make it.
Unfortunately, it is not purely for pleasure that I am here. Mademoiselle Angeline requires my attention professionally.
Yes, Angeline has told me. I'm glad she called upon you, Detective. I've been rather worried about her.
I will do everything I can to find the blackmailer and bring them to justice.
I have every faith in you.
I hope I am not interrupting you.
We are all very busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. After I'm done, I can come to your room and help you with any further questions. No one escorted you? I'm so sorry. Everyone is just so frantic at the moment. Madame has requested all staff prepare for this evening.
And you have been tasked with jobs in the pantry. Surely your talents could be used elsewhere.
I do as Madame asks. Well, as Archie asks.
Monsieur Sterling. Yes, I met him when I arrived. A charming gentleman. He did give me some rather vague instructions to find my room, though.
I can only apologise on his behalf. He would be mortified. I'm afraid I cannot be of much more help, but I believe you are located next to Mr. De Silva. By all means, the house is yours to explore. Yes, I'm afraid it may be all for show, though. She has not been herself, and it is not only I that have noticed.
Madame Vandenbosch. Surely it must have had some effect on her.
Madame has carried on as though nothing has happened. She has never been one to show emotion, and she doesn't seem to notice how it has affected Angeline. The staff, on the other hand... Angeline means no harm, but there have been some instances recently where she has acted rather sharply with them.
I hope not too sharply. A house of two Madame Vandenbosches would surely be too much for anyone.
Ah yes, guests are requested to sign the book when arriving. I believe it gives details to the guests' room locations.
It stated the male guests are to be staying in the East Wing.
Yes, Madame does not believe in male and female guests residing beside one another. Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid it is far from a happy ending. Luke is sadly no longer with us.
Oh, mademoiselle, I was not aware.
It's fine, Detective, honestly. I'm sorry, but I really must finish this.
Bien sûr, mademoiselle. Merci, mademoiselle.
The pleasure is mine, Detective. Before you leave, Detective, I have something for you beside the furnace here from Angeline. She wanted me to give it to you on your arrival.
Merci, mademoiselle. Aha.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Of course, Detective. What is it? I would not say it in front of the Major, but it is rather hideous. It was a gift from him to Madame from his time overseas. I don't think it even has the capability of writing.
A pen that does not write is like a fish that cannot swim.
As Angeline describes it, a useless ornament. It's the thought that counts, I suppose.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
What can I help you with, Detective? I was right to pay it, yes? You have read them. What do you think?
You were wise to consult me, but bowing to their threat may have only shown that you are willing to pay for their silence. Is the secret they speak of worth so much?
I wish I could, but I have no idea. The letter was addressed to me, but I have nothing to hide. Maman took one look at it and disregarded the whole thing as someone's idea of a joke.
She looked at it. She is not aware of the second letter.
She doesn't know I paid the first. I thought I could make it all go away.
Did you ask Madame if there was a family secret they could be privy to?
She said I was to ignore the letters and stop wasting my time with such foolishness. If there was something, she wouldn't tell me anyway. I couldn't ask Maman for the money. She was angry that I had even considered paying it. Gideon...
Pardon, did he not think you foolish for paying?
He did, but he said he couldn't stand by and watch me in so much distress.
How honorable.
We are soon to be married, Detective. A loving partnership that faces their troubles together. They are his words.
I did not mean anything by it, mademoiselle. You have found yourself a husband that will stand by your side and do what must be done to protect you. I am most pleased for you.
As you would expect, she has been in quite a state. It was such a terrible accident. She kept it to herself for almost a week before she even told me.
Pardon, how could you not know? Surely his absence from the house was noticed.
Maman fired him after he returned to the house. She said he could not be trusted.
But Mademoiselle Elizabeth's position was kept?
I begged Maman for them both, but she said if he was willing to go behind her back, what else could he do?
Falling in love is a far cry from committing even the smallest crime, n'est-ce pas?
She has been a kind shoulder to lean on through all this mess, but it is her I worry about. She has been through so much.
I was not aware of what had happened, and by mentioning, I fear I may have only made it worse by dredging up the past.
Do not punish yourself, detective. You are not to know. I don't think your honest mistake will make much difference to how she has been feeling recently.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
Is there something I am not... Magnifique. I cannot see the lot. I must act on... I must take a different approach. Things are beginning to become clearer. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Detective, it looks as though I might be out here. Is that what he said? I can barely understand most of what he says with that accent.
I find his accent rather pleasant, reassuring.
I guess. Not too helpful when it comes to finding your room, though. You'll probably be the lucky one that has that hideous plant outside the door.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
Please, ask away, detective. Angeline has spoken of it. You made quite the impression on her, detective.
I feel responsible for what came from that day. Florette's dismissal and Luke's.
It is not your fault. Madame van den Bosch does not like it when her rules or authority are undermined. I tried to explain to Angeline the same, but her guilt has not left her. I suppose you think I was unwise to pay it?
I am glad Mademoiselle requested my help before you fell further out of pocket.
Madame van den Bosch had no intentions of paying it, whether she believes there is a secret that could ruin the family or not.
It was an honorable move for you to make the payment. It was certainly no small fee.
Angeline is to be my wife, and then we shall be family. As far as I am concerned, my money is our money.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
This will not get me any closer to... This will not get me any closer. Another success. I never doubted myself. I must take a What a revelation!
Huh. Aha. Oh. Huh. Ah. Oh.
I cannot see the logic. Is there something? Come, my little grey. Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Please, ask away, detective. As far as I'm aware, everything is in order. From what I understand, the late Viscount had made some questionable investments. But that is all in the past.
And regarding the payment of the blackmail?
Angeline does not have to worry about money anymore. I was born into some wealth, and I have earned my own fortune.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
I must act. Order and method. Come, my little. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Oh.
course, Detective.
Merci.
Pleasure is...
Ah.
What can I help you with, Detective?
Merci.
Detective.
Huh.
Please?
Merci, monsieur. Ah. Aha. Ah. Huh. Aha. Oh. Huh. Elizabeth, thank you for coming. I shall not take up too much more of your precious time.
Not at all, Detective. I had best not be away for too long. Madame would not be pleased when there is so much work to do.
Well, mademoiselle, if anyone was to ask, I required your urgent attention with a delicate matter. That should be enough to give you a moment's peace.
Thank you, Detective. I have heard whispers, but this town is full of busybodies. It's hard to know what is the truth and what is hot air from socialites trying to outdo one another.
I would not have thought you want to join in with such chatter.
I'm not, but it can be hard to ignore. I try to quash any talk of it in the house. But it's easier said than done. When the staff are together, it seems to be a competition to see who can dream up the most scandalous rumour.
You are a loyal maid and friend. Mademoiselle Angeline is fortunate to have you.
It baffles me why they would target her in the first place. She has such a kind and pure soul. That may not be what you remember of Mademoiselle, but she has grown into a kind-hearted young lady.
I was wary of that when I arrived, but I myself can see a change in her, a maturity. And if it is as kind and pure as you have stated, she should not be troubled by the letter.
Letters, Detective. I brought you the other. I have tried to tell her not to think any more on them, but she fears that even a fabricated story could ruin the family name. She even frets at what it may do to her engagement.
I have met Monsieur Demire, and I cannot see his love for Angeline diminishing at something so trivial. Merci for bringing this letter to me. Merci, mademoiselle.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
Is there something? Order and method. I must take a dip. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Of course, Detective. She will no doubt be with Master Gideon. The party was just beginning when I came upstairs.
That is my cue to make a grand entrance. Am I presentable enough for the creme of society?
Quite handsome, Detective.
Merci. If you catch me snoring, please poke me in the ribs.
I will use Madame's sharpest poker.
It sounds as though someone else may have already been poked.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would be so kind to return to the party.
With all this excitement out here,
I believe that is an end to the excitement, as you put it, Monsieur Demire.
Oh, thank God. One last match.
Bonjour, Monsieur Hagen.
I wondered when you would be arriving. At least now you can do your job.
Pardon, Monsieur.
I have just been assaulted. I want him arrested.
I'm afraid it is not as simple as that. I merely witnessed you standing up from the ground.
This is ridiculous. You know very well what he did.
Perhaps you could elaborate on what instigated the altercation.
I should have known you wouldn't make things easy.
I have met Monsieur Demire. He does not seem one to physically assault someone unless provoked.
I hope you're not implying that I started it.
I am only stating what I have seen.
I was having a private conversation with Angeline when he interrupted and struck me. That is all there is to know. I would not act any other way. Well, unless I am provoked.
You have grown rather close with the Van den Bosch family, it seems.
What has my relationship with the family got to do with anything? Why are you even here, officer?
Detective. And I was invited by Mademoiselle Angeline personally.
Seems to be mistake after mistake with that girl. thug like him doesn't need an excuse. Just seeing my face was probably... With a limited brain like he has, he would only have heard what he wanted to anyway. Officer Poirot, are you going to do something about him or not?
It is Detective Poirot. And if you refuse to answer my questions, I do not see how I can continue.
I just don't know what she sees in him. Angeline could do so much better. I don't think she realizes what she is getting herself into. I can't imagine her living a happy life with that.
I see. Merci, monsieur, for your honest opinion, whether I agree or not. I shall leave you to your cigar and return to the party.
Monsieur Sterling, I trust the preparations are progressing since our last meeting.
Please, Detective. Archibald is fine. Everything is in order now. Are you ready to join the party?
You are head butler of this house. It is a position that warrants respect, and I shall continue to give it, Monsieur Sterling. And I must admit, it is the smell from the kitchen that has my attention more than the party itself.
Rehanna is quite the cook, but it will still be some time. Maybe you'd like to enjoy a drink while you wait. Some of the guests are already in the salon to your left. And the remaining guests are in the library on the first floor.
I will be sure to explore both. Merci.
Dinner will be served in the dining room, but the rest of the evening is yours to enjoy.
You have all certainly been working hard, it seems.
Very hard. The lady of the house wanted everything a certain way, and that's how it was to be done. It is my responsibility to look after the house and staff, not to resolve petty disputes.
I cannot imagine he will be in any mood to attend the party.
He often has a cigar to calm down, and if that doesn't relax him, that temperature outside surely will.
Merci. You have been most helpful. Monsieur Demir, we meet again.
What did I tell you? Call me Zach. You found your room all right then?
I did, and a charming room it is.
I don't know if I would call mine charming, but if I drink enough, it will... That's okay. At least you actually care. Not like most of the others here. I'm the groom-to-be's older, more handsome brother.
Ah, oui. I see the resemblance now. How wonderful that you can celebrate this occasion together.
I'll stop you there. The only wonderful thing about this celebration is the free food and drink.
You are not pleased for your brother.
Angeline seems nice enough, but marriage is not for me. What is there to gain from tying yourself to someone for the rest of your life? Recently, not a great deal. Well, except for enjoying myself. I was once a field medic in the military. But those days are over.
A noble occupation. Did you not want to make it your career?
It wasn't my decision to make. I certainly don't miss the battlefield, that's for sure. I'm sure he's fine. You don't need to worry about him. Always the knight in shining armor, riding in to save the day.
Saving the day from who, exactly?
Well, if Gedeon is the knight in the fairy tale, Felix is the dragon. Felix the Major. Ha! Always there, thinking he is better. Just because he was a major. We all know how he got there. In his mind, that puts him at the top of the chain.
Perhaps it is best I take my leave. Things are beginning. Madame Vandenbosch, congratulations are in order on your daughter's engagement.
Thank you. And you are?
Detective Poirot.
I'm sorry, the name eludes me.
Once Officer Poirot, I investigated your daughter's missing bracelet.
Oh, it's you. There is no missing jewelry here today, so we are really not in need of your services.
I am here on a rather more pressing...
I know why you are here, officer. Detective, whatever you are now. Please, just get on with it.
Detective, and I promise not to keep you too long.
Angeline is her own woman now. She can fight her own battles. She does not need her husband to be stepping in.
And what battles would they be?
Nothing that concerns you, detective. Keep your volume down. She had no right to do such a thing. As soon as the other ladies get wind that there was a police officer in-house, the whole town will know.
Perhaps you should be more focused on catching the blackmailer that is holding your family's name to ransom than what the chattering women of the town will say.
I care more about what those chattering women, as you so rudely describe them, have to say than the empty threat of an anonymous letter.
Your daughter does not agree. In fact, it has been suggested that one of tonight's guests may know more than they are willing to show.
The guests? You mean our friends? You can't honestly believe one of them would be so petty to send a letter like that. Oh, officer, you have not changed. I suppose it is only polite to say you're welcome.
Madame is as quick-witted as I remember.
What a shame there is nothing as memorable about you but your lack of respect. What do you mean, protecting? She hasn't gone and paid that silly ransom, has she?
It was Monsieur Demir that accepted the cost. He paid it because your daughter believes there may be something to hide.
For heaven's sake! Why do you think it was addressed to her and not I in the first place? Because they knew I would throw it in the rubbish where it belongs.
Madame, if there is something you are keeping, it would be wise to tell me now. It may help in identifying the culprit.
And it would be wise for you to stay out of my family's business. If I require your help, I shall ask for it. But don't hold your breath.
Merci. An enchanting conversation, as always. Oh. Allow me to introduce myself. Hercule Poirot.
Detective Hercule Poirot? I heard we were being joined by one of the King's finest officers.
Oui, madame. I see my name precedes me.
Comtesse Margot de Vos. Charmed, I'm sure.
It is I who is charmed.
Handsome, well-mannered, and a man of the law. I did not expect such a fine caliber of gentleman at this party.
Comtesse, your compliments are enough to make a young detective blush.
I fill my time mostly with charity work. The number of those less fortunate only continues to grow.
How very admirable.
One must remain humble. I have been a close friend to the Van den Bosch family for, well, heaven knows how long.
You must have known the late Viscount, then.
Indeed, we had been friends since our school days. His passing was very hard on both Cassandra and young Angeline. I became a sort of protector of them both after his death. A guardian angel, if you will. You will find Felix at the center of any trouble, especially when it concerns the ladies of the house.
I understand he has made himself quite at home here.
What an understatement. He thinks his friendship with Cassandra entitles him to anything and everything in the house, including certain opinions of how young Angeline lives her life.
He does not approve of Monsieur Demir?
You'd have to ask him, or rather speak with Gideon's brother. He will have something to say about Felix, I am sure. A strapping young man. Angeline has found herself a good one. They certainly make a handsome couple.
Speaking with them both, it is plain to see. even to one that is unexperienced in such emotions, that there is a great deal of love between them.
When they are together, it is obvious for all to see, even at such a young age. But who are we to judge what the heart wants?
It has been a pleasure conversing. I look forward to our next tete-a-tete.
Fire away, detective. The major pain in the ass. Why should I? It doesn't take a detective to work out the sort of man he really is.
I have my own history with the Major, but that is a story best not told.
I think it's a story best told now. It can't be any worse than what he did to us during the war.
You fought together in the war?
We were on opposing sides.
The subject of war is a difficult topic for everyone. But
if you had seen what I have, what he has done, you wouldn't side with him.
I am taking no sides, monsieur. It is just not conversation fit for a party.
I have a drink, but thanks anyway.
I just would not like to see things get out of hand.
Don't you worry about me. I've got it covered.
Perhaps it is best I... I cannot see the... I must act on thought and... This will not get me any... Some would say a lucky guess.
Let's make this quick, detective. You can make whatever assumptions you wish.
Based on several accounts, it seems as though the Major has a certain level of disdain for him and his brother.
Felix is merely protecting both my daughter and the Van den Bosch name.
Protecting them from what exactly?
That is a question best asked to them. Gideon is a fine, educated young man from a well-respected family.
All important when considering a new son-in-law.
A good home and education speaks volumes about a man. Even in the short time they have been engaged, his noble character is obvious. If you were an educated man, you...
I can assure you, madame, my education is not one to be sneered at.
And yet you remain a mere detective. Perhaps it is your choices, then, that are to be questioned.
Merci.
An enchanting conversation, as always. Magnifique.
I told you, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not a reporter.
But you're going to want to hear this. You could interview me now.
And why would I want to spend my evening doing that?
The world needs to know. You want to sell papers, I want the truth to be known. Win-win.
I came here to enjoy myself, not to hear a second-string version of...
I was there. I saw the whole thing, including who was ruining the show.
All right, I'll bite. Let's talk later.
Bonjour. Are you a guest of Mademoiselle Angeline or Monsieur Demire?
Do I know you?
Where are my manners? I am Hercule Poirot.
Alarming.
Oui, monsieur. Detective Poirot. And you are?
Ernesto da Silva.
A pleasure, monsieur.
I'm a man of business.
I see. Is there a particular...
Overseas investments, international relations. I also own a number of factories in the city.
Très bien. Monsieur has many talents.
We work together as partners, yes.
You must know the Van den Bosch family well, then.
I help Cassandra, rather, Madame Van den Bosch, if and when she needs me. I did. But frankly, I have no time for childish school fights.
You are not aware of the circumstances that started it, then?
I heard something about a cigar. Only Felix would be petty enough to get riled up by something so menial.
A cigar?
Yes, Monsieur Demire had one of Felix's precious cigars. If you ask me, they won't be the real thing anyway. Distinguished gentleman. It was two alpha males going head-to-head. Master Gideon came out the victor.
Surely we have passed the days where shows of unnecessary brute strength impress anyone.
When it comes to the protection of a woman, we are far from it. Man will always return to their most primitive form.
Mademoiselle Angeline. The Major has no place to feel threatened. Monsieur Gédéon is to become her husband.
And he has spent the last however many years supporting them, as he calls it, clutching on to whatever he can.
Merci for your time. It has been most intriguing. Huh. Aha. Huh. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. You're not from around here, are you?
My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a friend of Mademoiselle, soon to be Madame, Angeline.
I see. Jacqueline Conrad. No doubt you've heard the name before.
I am rather embarrassed to say I have not, Madame.
No need for the madame. I'm not married. Just call me Jackie.
Oui, Jackie.
Here's the thing. I'm one of those people you want to know, and not be on the wrong side of.
Perhaps it would be wise for me to remain on your good side.
It's the best place to be. You wouldn't believe what a couple of positive stories can do for a family name, or a career.
And that is what you have done for the Van den Bosch family?
A little help goes a long way, and from what I have seen, the ladies deserve some positive support. I heard, and it doesn't surprise me, there will always be someone trying to get something out of someone else. People are only out to help themselves.
That is a rather pessimistic way of thinking.
But it's the truth. And in my experience, more often than not, it's someone the victim knows, and knows pretty well.
You make me question those I consider friends.
And maybe you should. If you have something you don't want the world knowing, just keep it to yourself. That's what we call eavesdropping.
Pardon. I didn't mean to pry.
And with respect, I don't think it's really any of your business.
I must take my leave. Oh. Aha. Allow me to introduce myself. Hercule Poirot.
Hugo Beckers. A pleasure.
I hope I am not disturbing you. I often find myself at a loose end at parties such as these.
I've never been referred to as a loose end before, but it is always good to make a new acquaintance. There is no better way to understand one's purpose in life. I stand up for the workers that cannot do it themselves.
You work with a union?
Union leader, well, that is my formal title. But I see myself as more than just that. So much more. I am the face of the people.
Very spirited. You have quite the way with words.
In my line of work, it is essential. Some fight with their fists, but I believe words are the ultimate weapon. I have been working with Gideon for quite some time. We are doing great things together. Great things.
I was not aware he was part of the Union.
Well, he's not exactly. But he is an ally in the battle we face. Without his support, our uphill struggle would surely be a climb. Hopefully my talks with De Silva will help him see the light. I don't know what you think you heard, but it was a private matter and I appreciate if you kept it to yourself.
I can assure you, Monsieur Beckers, your conversation is exactly that. Yours.
Then maybe we should just leave it there.
Merci. If I find myself at a loss again, I shall certainly return. This will not get... I cannot see the logic. I must take a diff... Another success. What a revelation! I must act. Is there some order and method? Come, my little grey cells. Some would say a lucky guess. I should not be surprised. I cannot see the lot. I must take a diff. This will not get me. Things are beginning.